Hi, now we're going to talk about how we're going to do the second part of our practice exercise. And to do this part, we're going to do a little bit of collaboration. First thing we're going to go do is go down to step 5. Okay, step 5, because we just had step 4 back in the individual practice section. So step 5 says to copy the sentence we made about our energy transformation into the yellow sticky note next to it. So if we remember for the last video, the example I did was about the flashlight. So the sentence I made was the battery has chemical energy. Well, the two sentences. The chemical energy from the battery transforms into light energy in the flashlight. So I'm going to go down to the flashlight example here and click on the sticky note next to it. And you can scroll back and forth as many times as you need to remember what you said. We said the battery has chemical energy. Then let's scroll back up and try and remember what we said for that second part. That second part said the chemical energy from the battery transforms into light energy in the flashlight. So the chemical energy from the battery transforms into light energy in the flashlight. Oh, little type. Great. So I've completed part 5. Let's see what's going on in part 6. Part 6 is asking me to come up with an example of an energy chain that uses the same energy types as an energy chain example I did not make. So the example I made was the flashlight. So now you're going to look at one of your friends' examples, which they will have put into a sticky note also. Okay, we're gonna take a look at this one, fireplace. Someone other than me made the fireplace example. So I'm gonna figure out which energy types they used in the fireplace example. And then I'm going to come up with another example that uses those same two energy types. This is probably going to be the most difficult part of this practice, but we are going to get really familiar with this information, and this will be really good practice for us. So if I go over here, I'm looking for keywords. The wood from the fireplace has chemical energy. So I know the first energy type I'm looking for my example is going to be chemical energy. The chemical energy from the wood transforms into thermal energy in the fire. So now I know that the second energy type I'm looking for is thermal energy. So I need an energy transportation that has chemical energy and thermal energy. So they did burning wood in a fireplace. So the chemical energy in the wood goes into thermal energy in the fire. I'm going to go to the blue sticky note, and what example could I come up with that has chemical energy and thermal energy? I'm going to use the human body. And once you think of your example, you only have to write your example in the sticky note. You don't have to elaborate if you don't want to. I'm going to because this is a trickier example, and so it might help for other people to see why I wrote what I did. So I wrote human body because the food we eat, chemical energy, keeps us warm. So your body stays at regular temperature because you digest your food and you use that energy to keep you warm, right? So I'm going to write thermal energy here. So the human body, because the food we eat, that's chemical energy, keeps us warm. And that's the thermal energy, which are the same two energy types we had, in their example, right? Chemical energy and thermal energy. So now we've completed part 5. Let's go down and take a look at part 6. Oh, sorry. We just completed part 6. Now we're going on to part 7. So we've done part 6. We're going on to part 7. Now we're going to give some feedback. We're going to pick a different example that we haven't looked at yet. So we looked at our example. We looked at the second example that somebody else did, right? The fireplace example. Now we're going to look at an entirely different example to give some feedback. And we're going to ask, how did they do? Did they fill it out correctly? Did they use the right energy types? So we're going to go over this third example here. This third example is of a sunburn. And the person wrote, the chemical energy from the sun transforms into mechanical energy in your skin. So chemical energy, we remember from back up here, that's like this. In our other two examples, we saw chemical energy in batteries and in wood. So is chemical energy in the sun in this case? No. What energy does the sun produce? Light, right? So the first comment I'm going to make is I'm going to say the sun produces light energy. Let's take a look at that second part of the sentence again. So the first part was the chemical energy from the sun transforms into mechanical energy in your skin. So remember, mechanical energy is the energy of movement, right? So mechanical energy isn't happening in your skin when it gets heated up by the sun. That would be an example of thermal energy, right? When you get a sunburn from being in the sun all day, it makes your skin really hot. So this should be thermal energy, not mechanical energy. So we're going to say in our comment, back over here, the light energy from the sun transforms into thermal energy on your skin. Okay, because there's our thermal energy and our light energy, which is what we should be looking for. If when you're making your comment, the one you choose to comment on did a good job and was able to figure out which were the appropriate energy types to talk about, then you can just say in your comment, good job, or I like your example, or something like that. But this is what you could do if the person that you're giving feedback to had a little bit of difficulty picking out which energy types were appropriate. Okay, and now we'll have you finish part 7 and finish the practice exercise. You feel free to do it as many times as you want. And you'll be getting some feedback too from your classmates as they go through and they do the same thing that you did with part 6 and part 7. Okay, so that is our practice.